we all know how the pandemic has really impacted the retail industry. Well, Walgreens is no different. So looking at, their struggle with having the inventory out of stock on the shelves, they really wanted to get something that's going to help them minimize that impact and, recoup some of their lost revenue and missed opportunities for sales. The concept that you're looking for is to look at some historical sales and then use that with external factors. In this instance here, I'm leveraging weather data because that's what the model had, but using that to then drive a predictive forecast within planning analytics. So here, I'm just going to start off by looking at the story view. So I can break it down by the different weather types. So look at just the bad weather or the good weather or just all. But then looking at their products, breaking it down by what's for cold and flu versus maybe energy or bone and joint health. All right, so I can look at it by the different categories of their products and then in the major markets. So areas where, COVID-19 really was of severe impact on what was driving some of their out of stocks and their inventory resupply. So taking the sales data from planning analytics, loading that into the Python notebook, and then integrating that and coordinating the weather data there to get that, cohesive story. Now that's able to get that forecast going. So here I can just cycle through, if I want to look at cold and flu in Dallas, all right? A second, it's just warming up. Here we go. So the negative, so bad weather days, what's going on with cold and flu. I can, drill in if I wanted to, drill up, drill down into the data. So if I wanted to break it down to specifically the different SKUs within the category or whatever, but maybe if I want to look at energy when the weather is good in Chicago, everybody's tired of sitting behind their desks and not doing anything. So, here's the daily sales of energy supplements going on. So the next thing I want to do is taking that same information, start looking at, here's my historical sales, but then what is my projection for sales so I can kind of recoup some of that shelf space and get the sales back on track. So here again, I can cycle back down into my categories. I can cycle through the cities. All right, but I want to go in here and I'm going to clear out this projection. So I want to start from a blank slate, just looking at the actuals right now. I want to take these actuals, send them into my machine learning model, correlate it with the weather data, and then project out my future. I'm running the prediction. It takes a little bit because it's running through, but what's going on here is I'm taking the planning analytics data, importing it in, bringing in the metadata, bringing in the store sales information, kind of looking at what the information looks like, bringing in the weather data. Okay, it's going to cycle through. It's going to go through, look for missing points, merge the two data frames, and now it's going to start doing some analysis on the information. Now it's going to start preparing the data so you can start doing the scoring, all right? Because the scoring is really what is critical, that once you do all this data prep and merging, you need to get in here and have it score the information, because that's what's then going to be sent through to your machine learning model, whether you're using Auto AI or you're writing the code in here to have it do the training and the testing and all that. But that scoring is what's the key piece to this here. And so there's a lot of different visualizations in here that you can use, and then you deploy it. So I get down to this scoring section. Again, you need that API key, the endpoint. You need that bucket in here, because this is where it's going to help connect back to that data source and then start looking at that information and scoring the data. So once you have all of that information done, you're going to then deploy that model into your Watson machine learning API. So once everything is connected, you then get your scoring. So once you have all of this done and you get to this point here, you're going to put that into a file within the TM1 environment. So that way, when you go in and run this prediction process, which by the way came back already, it's going to invoke a TI process that it will run looking at a planning analytics, a PI file, that has all your connection data, including that URL in here to say, how do I connect planning analytics to my Watson machine learning to then run that whole process, everything that we just see here, and bring that result back. Those are the key pieces that you need when you go through the notebook to then link the notebook and planning analytics back together. To have that, now you can clear your prediction, run the prediction, and fill this information in. And again, you can drill down to the different product sets. You can drill into the different cities. You can look at the negative impact of weather, the positive impact of weather, whatever. You have all of that capability to drill down, into the data set. And then once you have all that's done, now we can look at our sales dashboard. So we can look at the sales by different products, the stores, all that ranking, all the good stuff that you want to have in here. So there it is in a nutshell.